I remember a lecturer telling us when we were in school that there's nothing new under the sun. And what storytellers do, what writers do, is to create life from life that has existed. So there's nothing that exists in a vacuum. Everything has happened before, everything has been created already. What you do as a writer is to recreate, to take this and make it into this, to take that and make it into this other thing. So there's nothing really that is brand new. There's nothing that is not from something else. Everything that you think is even your idea, it was somebody's idea first. We don't know how come one person can have an idea that another person has had. But just to tell you that nothing is really new under the sun. So I think that for a writer to be able to write and write well, you must be a reader. You cannot escape it, you must read. And you read wide, first of all, for research purposes. Probably you want to write about the Civil War, like Chimamanda Adichie's Half of the Yellow Sun. You may not be Igbo, but you can want to retell the experiences of the Igbo people during the Civil War, or they had to go through the starvation, the war that they had to fight with the rest of Nigeria. You do not really know what happened that time. Probably you were not living, but now you want to recreate this experience. What do? There are people that have written about these things. There was a country by Chinua Achebe that you can read for historical precedents and all that, to research and write something very livable, even though you may want to make your piece of writing creative. Or if you've chosen to write about an event that has happened, it must be very true, it must be factual. You do not go and manufacture facts for those kind of writings, so it must be very factual. Or even for fiction, do you need to read to write? Yes, 100% yes, you must read as a writer to write. Not that you are copying and pasting somebody, of course, because that's not possible, that's plagiarism, right? But you have to read from people's wealth of knowledge, of experience, and even their style, their narrative style, and how they write. Okay, what did this person write that I would like to change or tweak a bit to create mine? Okay, how did this style work? I would like to write like that. I remember years ago, I didn't know it was possible to write in second person narrative. I had never seen it before. I had imagined it, what if, and then my colleague, then the classmate, said, oh, it's been done. Chimamanda puts a short story like that in her book, The Thing Around Your Neck. And I went to get the collection of short stories and I saw it there. It was written in second person narrative. I was like, wow, this thing is really possible. I didn't know that was possible before. I hadn't, for some reason, not many people write in second person narrative, and I understand because it can be a complicated way to write, I think, if you've not gotten the hang of it. So I didn't know that was possible, but I read it and I said, wow, this is possible. And over the years, I've written about 5 stories with second person narrative. So if I didn't read, I wouldn't be able to write. And that is just one example. You can't think that you are a wealth of knowledge on your own. You must read to write. You must learn from others. There are ways that you can write something and it will make beautiful meaning because you've learned it from some other place. And then you must be able to properly put down your thoughts after reading to write. Let it not be like, oh, you just saw this thing somewhere and then you just want to recreate because you saw it somewhere. No, let it be that you've probably digested this thing that you've read and then you want to use it to create your own work. You cannot afford not to read wide, read near, read everything. I know that I have problems with historical books, but I know within myself that as a writer, if I want to move to the next stage of where I hope I will get to, I have to start picking up historical books. Historical books bore me. Right from secondary school, I've always hated history. So many dates to cram, so many events to cram. But as a writer, I'm just laughing at myself because I watch videos of Chimamanda Adichie. Sorry, I mention her a lot. Yeah, big fan. And I see the way she speaks so eloquently. And I remember when she first started those interviews, every time people wanted to ask her about feminism, because people believed that was all she would answer questions about. That was all she knew. I don't know why they thought that, but for some reason they were always asking questions about feminism, and it almost felt like she had to prove herself that, please, I'm bigger than this box you want to put me in. I'm widely read. I'm widely, I have a lot of knowledge. And I remember seeing her on CNN talking about the politics of America, where she basically lives. I was like, yes, this is it. So I was now thinking,
so now, Jemima, if they put you on that platform now to talk about politics of Nigeria, can you speak as eloquently and as clearly as this woman?
So I knew that I still had a long way to go and I had to continue to read because, again, you cannot write if you are not a reader. So much to do. You cannot stay in your little box of, oh, I know this thing. This is what I've always been doing. This is what I've always been writing about. There are so many other things that you can write about as a writer. So if you're not a reader, you will never get to that point of writing other things and expanding your horizons in terms of writing. You may just find yourself stuck to one thing. Oh, I always write about probably poverty or this or that. But if you are not reading, you would find yourself stuck in one thing, and it's not really good for you as a writer. You cannot stand before great men, and last. People see through you that you're very empty. You don't have what to talk about. There's this far words can carry you, but then if the words do not have substance, people will see with time. See you in my next one.